Hey everybody, this is Rydo and we're back to Torchlight. Let's continue. We're in this weird position where we have a glyph of turning quest item that I don't think we can get rid of until we get the other two glyphs. So our already incredibly small inventory is going to become smaller. And when I think about Diablo in particular and how you have here, let's see how 7, 14, 21 spots of inventory plus another 21 in your pet. Diablo had, I think, probably a little bit more inventory per character with no super easy way to give items to your companion character. But it could be done. It was just not as simplistic as opening up something on the side of the screen and translating it. There's a new character, type of enemy. We are running into a lot of named characters that I assume when we kill a named character we're getting some small amount of fame for doing that, even if that isn't an element that is focused on a lot. So let's see. We've got a lot of different layout here. Yeah, thinking about how Diablo did it and how their items took up more than one space, so that you were kind of playing a minigame much like the Resident Evil 4 cases where you had to play a minigame of Tetris to make all of your items fit into your case in Resident Evil 4. You kind of had to do that also for Diablo 1. The difference, though, I would say, is in Diablo 1's case, you halfway through the game get the Heraldric Cube, I believe is how that's pronounced. You get a cube that is a 2 square by 2 square item that then I believe lets you have 3 by 3 squares worth of space inside of it, giving you a little bit of more space. Now this still isn't really a great system in Diablo 1. The Heraldric Cube also merges things, which we can do at the store when we get back to the city using the character who transmutes things, but being able to do that on the fly certainly saves you some space. And these both Diablo had no reason to limit your space as much as it did, and quite frankly, Torchlight, which is supposed to be the spiritual successor to Diablo, has no reason to have taken the concept that Diablo did and then effectively made it even worse. The only slight improvement they have on the inventory is, unlike in the main game where in Diablo where a piece of armor could potentially take a 2 by 3 amount of space, everything takes 1 space. So you have a slight difference there. But I can't transmute unless there's some spell for transmuting that you'd have to learn, and I suspect there isn't. There's a reason to drink these wells, by the way, I suppose, since it will just give me experience or work towards some achievement. Not that I'm really going to fish 1,000 fish and try and get all the achievements. I don't believe there's any multiplayer in this game, so you could 100% get all the achievements in this game if you wanted to, but it's frankly going to take you another 60 hours of gameplay to do it. And that would have made sense 10 years ago when this was the only game to play, particularly when in that brief time that I think happened when Torchlight was out on Xbox Live's Arcade before Diablo 3 came out on Xbox Live Arcade, or Diablo 3 was actually a disc game, so it wasn't Live Arcade, it was just Xbox 360 game. The easier thing here, the obvious thing, the thing I would want, is just give me something that increases my carry limit by quite a lot. There's really no reason to get any more complicated than that. Allow me to pick up a backpack, upgrade my inventory carry rate, do anything at all to improve the situation, and simply they're just not letting me do that. We have 2 more levels, it looks like, until our adventurer skill is at the max, and then it's mostly going to be pet mastery until we get to level 20, which would be 3 levels from now. So that's that. I think we're probably good on armor, so dexterity is what we should continue to try and put numbers into. But I will put a little bit into magic too. Dexterity works really, really well in this, more than you would think it should, because it increases what you can carry as far as armor, and it increases what you can shoot with ranged weapons. And there's clearly an imbalance here between firing with a ranged weapon and firing with a melee weapon. Here we have these little frogs and little ponds. Remember, we're in this cave. Take a note of just how much gold I'm picking up, by the way. It's not a lot of gold, considering I have several abilities that are increasing the gold drop by 1%. I don't know if that's perhaps increasing the chances of a gold drop and instead of the amount of gold drops, because maybe the game is internally balancing it in some way, so you don't end up with a ridiculous amount of gold. I think there's little snakes that show up on the ground too that aren't really enemies, like these frogs. A lot of clicking. Yeah. It is definitely dismissive to call this a clicker game, but it really is. Like, this is as close to a clicker game as I would ever actually willing to be able to play. Which is funny, because I did cover several clicker games a couple years ago and said, well, if I was going to play a clicker game, I would play like Sakura Clicker because it has anime girls in it that are nice and interesting to look at. But in reality, what happened is the automated clicker game, Time Clickers, was the only one that I even had running in the background. What was that? Something hit me hard. Or tried to hit me hard there. But yeah, honestly, I didn't play any of them because I don't want to wear out a mouse. I'm frankly getting a little scared that I will wear out my mouse. Just with how much is being done here. Seems like there's a path up here at the top. But it also seems like there's a path over here. There were points in Diablo 1, I recall, that were windy and it was easy to miss things. It seems like there's quite a lot of gold that gets dropped in this section of this floor. But I don't feel like they were ever as bad as this is going. This is pretty bad about letting you go from one place to another. See, that is either just a special named character's corpse, or there's a pickup there and I just can't click on it. I figured out last recording I could transmute health potions, and now I have health potions that are far too strong for what my max health is.
My inventory is full.
Alright, so we'll just kill this guy from where we're standing instead of fighting them. Then we'll bring up our inventory. Yeah, just being able to double our carry weight would have fixed what we have right now as a problem, and I don't really see a reason why that wouldn't have worked. Right. So no longer am I selling big mana potions and such. I'm gonna transmute them first and then maybe sell them later. This is an increased experience gain. Does everything I have increase experience? Because if I have something that doesn't increase experience, I would get rid of it. But I guess everything I do. And so having the quest items and knowing that there's 2 more quest items I have to collect before I can get rid of these quest items tells me I have to stay on the main quest. Or I'm going to just consistently run out of space. Alright, and what do we have here as a spell? Haste 2. The caster's movement speed is increased for 8 seconds. Well, we'll just put that over here. You would never have 21 spells. And you really would never have 21 fish. So programming wise, you kind of know that they've already allotted enough space. So it's not a programming function. It's just a bad game design concept that's being implemented here. They could have gotten rid of fish and spells and merged them all into one place, and then we would have had 3 pages of 21. That would have tripled the space. It would have reduced what is about every 10 minutes of going into the inventory and dealing with the inventory. We could have reduced that down to every 30 minutes, which is much more reasonable. It's still a lot of menu hero, even at every 30 minutes. And even Borderlands, like, Borderlands is all about getting guns and being a looter shooter, and even that happens too often. Like, all of these games kind of boil down to, I would really like a mod, which may exist for a lot of these games, that would just take out the garbage quality items and only drop those if you're absolutely not equipped at all with that kind of item. Like, I could see even a poorly programmed system where they would give me garbage shields all the time because I'm not using a shield. I'm using a ranged 2-handed weapon. But it makes very little sense that I'm getting so much garbage for ranged weapons when I already have a very good ranged weapons. I would prefer just more gold to drop, or the ability to directly convert things into gold. That works just as well too. Getting rid of the store clerks and the NPC characters in general, I think would be nice in a game like this. Just have it so that you only really talk to quest givers, and everything that a store clerk does for you as far as selling items or repairing items. I guess it's nice that there's no item damage that we're taking in this game. That could have been really annoying if we had weapons degrade over time.
Our quest has been completed.
That must have been the named character we were supposed to kill, so we should probably relatively quickly go back to the store in town and get a new quest. Yeah, I don't. Yeah, I don't know why there's so much of this grinding in a game like this from 10 years ago. It was, well, I kind of do. It was around the concept that you had to feel like you were getting your money's worth. And there definitely were games out there that made you feel like you were getting your money's worth. Look at this, we can skip over these two, which is great. So when we hit level 20, we'll be fine. We don't have to spend extra points in skills we don't really care to have. Yeah, there was definitely a desire
Has been sprung.
to have to have games feel like they were worth your time and really, really long. Diablo, Warcraft, games from Blizzard of old, not the Activision Blizzard of these days per se, were designed to be particularly long and replayable, infinitely replayable. Ideal was a phrase that was said quite a lot.
I'm overburdened.
But then you see that quickly transferred itself into a infinitely replayable game that is full of microtransactions, and so what once was a selling point has now become an annoyance point for most gamers, anyone with half a brain, frankly. Right, can't do that. Don't want to do that, can't do that. Here we have a Shadow Sash unique belt. Plus 2 armor, 1 chance to block, 20% chance for critical damage, 1 increased fishing luck, 2% increased gold find, 10% pet and minion seed, and 12% potion resistance. So, am I willing to get rid of 14 armor for this belt? It does give us increased gold find by 2%. So I guess I am. I guess I'm willing to get rid of a 20 armor. And I believe this is one of the pieces of armor we just gambled for to get. So I'll think about that and hold on to that one piece. Let's see. Gorgon boots. Or whatever, equipped. We're trying to save up money to potentially buy the rest of the Gorgon set.
Your pet has departed.
So with a 10% increased sash, he'll come back in a minute and 14 seconds. Which is probably enough time for me to find this, pick up that item and just take out everybody else here. I probably, if I really wanted to test my defense, is let something hit me, let something particularly big hit me, in fact, because that would be about the only time anything would hit me anyways, is if it was a giant creature. So whenever it says glancing blow, that means it's doing less damage or no damage. And you can see at my health spot that they're not really doing a significant amount of damage, even though there's several of them attacking me at a time. We've got a couple seconds until the pet returns. Of course, the pet's making his way from off screen, and then Barry has enough AI to figure that out. pet really not doing a lot in fights. Like, nothing really has to do anything though. I'm perfectly safe where I am. There's a snake character. Extra animations unnecessary, frankly. One would hope if there is a snake animation with a snake crawling around, we will eventually run into a giant snake that can do damage to us and we have to fight and kill. And then what you could guess is that the small snake animation was simply the giant snake animation shrunken down. That would be the efficient way that I would produce a game, at least. If I was a video game producer, I'd say, yeah, we're not going to do frogs, we're not going to do snakes, we're not going to do uninteractable animals that would barely be noticed if they were missing. Because we remember, we're in a cave in a mountain, just going deeper and deeper. So there's no reason to believe that there would be snakes or frogs. Like, that's not an expectation that would rise to the level of the game feeling odd if it didn't have those elements. And certainly we're in a world where trents, I want to call them tree ants, that's what Hearthstone calls them, and World of Warcraft I guess calls them, but they're called trents. Is there anything? Nope. So now we're... Well, wait a minute. I thought we had already collected the thing we needed to collect. I guess you should be kind of careful with these mushrooms because they do seem like they do electrical damage. Is there anything over here? Nothing's attacking me over here, so I'm suspecting that this is the bad path. Yeah, there really is nothing here. It's a little too randomly generated pathways. There is a ton of tricks you do with lighting and subtly pointing a person towards the direction they're supposed to go when developing a video game level, if it's done well. Which I don't fully feel like is being done here, because this feels like it is just randomness on randomness. That's weird that there's a chest on the stairs. Again, just kind of randomness on randomness. These guys are doing enough health damage.
My health is low.
Let's see. Alright. I'm gonna drink a potion and run away. I've actually run into somebody, enough of those magic wisps doing damage to me. So yeah, that could have been a mess. Frankly, I don't think the game would change too much if there was a arrow, at least on the map, the mini-map, telling us where to go. Because then I could always reference that whenever there's a secondary shot. Does my shotgun have a ricochet effect? I don't think it did. That'd be nice. That seems a little bit more complicated than I think they would have bothered to program it, but
my pack is full.
I feel like Diablo 1 elements, certainly archeries and bows and stuff, did have a some elements of that. Alright, so we don't need this. this is an Ember quest item. So frankly, it probably is just better to go to the storefront. We'll look at everything here and see if there's anything to really even consider. But our inventory is now full of this and this, which I guess this works fine. So I took some damage, but I don't feel like that's just because I lost armor. So we can get rid of that, get rid of that, get rid of that. So yeah, let's clear out this area and then go back to the city. Although I guess it kind of doesn't matter how any of this happens, frankly, because it goes and then it goes. And if I use a town portal, I'm just going to end up back wherever I left the town portal in the exact same space. There was the glyph that we needed to collect. And this will take us back, and we can talk to her.
No wonder the Assyrians' knowledge advanced so.
But yeah, these aren't leaving our inventory. They're staying. So let's identify this, and this, and then I guess quickly look at them and just make sure that they're all trash items. Gold standard staff doesn't do anything special. And town portal we go. So load section, then load section. We're looking to sell a lot, so I guess we can see if we can get enough money to buy the next bit of the Midas outfit. I think frankly by the time we can afford all the pieces of the Midas outfit though, it will be such an unimportant piece of equipment that I don't think you could actually use it. So does he still have the Midas item? Or is it a Gorgon thing we're looking for? I think it was a Gorgon thing. Actually, yeah, we're looking for other pieces of the Gorgon item. Seems like it's gone. Yeah, I'm not seeing anything here labeled Gorgon, and it would be a purple item. So it seems like you just have to kind of be careful when you look in the storefront and look when you can look.
It's not a scant.
I wonder if maybe we'll eventually run into another situation where it makes more sense. Big health potion versus big health potions here. I'm gonna convert this, and I think probably at this point we should just sell the small health potion just so we save ourselves some space. Where are we on this cracked skull? We have a dull cracked skull, we have a cracked core, cracked Ember, so that's not that. Discolored skull and cracked skull. Alright.
Hi there.
Heal all 2. I have heal all 1. So. Should I buy this? And unlearn the skill and then learn it again? I think I have to kind of experiment with this. Web 1 will sell though. Alright, so right click to learn spell. Control left click to unlearn spell. Right. Control left click. And that apparently replaced it. So one hopes that heal all 2 was worth that. This is another Midas piece of equipment, but I can't afford it. So yeah, apparently there's a Midas chain and a Midas something else.
See you later.
What do we have over here? We have a Midas chain that is a level 14 plus 84 health, and she is selling a Midas chain that is a requirement level 14 and increases all electric damage by 3%. So they slightly change in their what they do, but not significantly enough that it would matter. And it seems like Gorgon and Midas might be the only things. Pause now if you want to read all this. We did something, and because of that we're going to get a rewarded item and level up. And again, pause now if you want to read this. What's funny is we're not really going down levels right now because of the system we're doing.
Good journey.
Let's go ahead and talk to this guy. And this guy is going to give us a mysterious map scroll, which I don't even know when I want to use that, frankly.
Good day.
Let's see. Accept this new quest.
Hi there.
Alright. Transmute. Transmute. Can't transmute them all. You know, what you probably could do, though, is something like this, and this, and then put this back in, I guess, and transmute it higher. But these right now restore 1200 health. I only have 900 health, so the only reason we're really even transmuting is because it theoretically is the right thing to do. I guess we should also just sell our regular potions while we're at it. And go ahead and start transmuting these too. These take 3, it seems, every time.
Fortune is kind to you. Fortune smiles on you.
So, alright, that gave me 7 more of those. Where 3 of these will just these won't transmute. Oh, I only have 2 of them. This clever chain Vimbrance, I think, is slightly better than what I have, so I might as well equip it, which is crazy because I gambled for this item and now I'm selling it.
Fortune is kind to you.
So yeah, I guess you can put them back in there. and it will just add the... See, I have 3 of these. When I click this, it'll take the one that's in there and put it back in your inventory. So it saves you a little bit of time by doing it that way. Just have a lot of stuff here. A lot of stuff
Take care now.
that I need to get rid of.
What can I do for you?
Sell this armor. Come on, just sell. And sell this and sell this.
See ya.
Come over here and stack that pile and stack that pile. Alright, now skill points. We are at 18, so I think pet mastery is still our main focus. Oh no, we're trying to get adventure, and we can get to rank 10 on adventurer. Meanwhile, dexterity I think is our main focus. Although we could point up more armor. When we were getting hit, we did take a decent amount of damage, so just pouring 5 more defense points in there is not a terrible thought. Meanwhile, let's see. What else have we got? Not a lot of money, and we've got more quests that we need to continue with. Like, we really can't do anything until we are done with all 3 parts of this main story, so we can get rid of those 3 items that are taking up our inventory. This guy doesn't have anything, right? Yeah. It does certainly say something when you don't have to move at all and the game is perfectly fine to kill all the enemies around you. And yeah, they're gonna drop me a bunch of items. But I don't know if I'd ever find a Midas item or a Gorgon item or any of the named set items just lying around. Or if there's a high chance that that would happen in one regular gameplay playthrough, particularly playing on easy. If I recall correctly, playing this when it first came out, I don't think I was able to get a full Midas set ever. Which was a slight disappointment because I'm fairly certain it was based, there was an achievement for having a full set, and I was at the time certainly trying to get as many achievements points as possible. In fact, on the Xbox 360 account I had, it was like over 65,000 gamer score, which certainly isn't the biggest number that anybody has ever had, but it was quite a lot. And then at some point I lost the email to that account and can't log back into the account. So it went from something that was really, really important to me to something that's once gone I really didn't care about. Particularly since I went to playing PC gaming and started over from scratch. Steam is in no way really interested in promoting having a high gamer score. In fact, the only real score you get that's promoted for getting all the achievements is just the number of games compared to the games you've played that you've 100% completed via achievements. They also give you like some experience to level up your character and have more friends on Steam, but that is done by buying games that give you trading cards, something that doesn't exist on any of the consoles, thank goodness. And the trading cards are just a scam to make you buy more games and buy things on the marketplace, of which Steam gets a cut every time something's bought or sold. So basically microtransactions. for digital goods. The things that nobody should ever have to deal with or ever want in a game. Yeah, take note that I said I would like to see a mod for this game that would speed up the gameplay and get rid of all the junk. What I absolutely would not like to see is a microtransaction that would give me high level items or guaranteed legendary items to speed up the action and get rid of all the junk. There's a big difference between letting somebody change what they already own and have a less random experience, and then trying to sell people that experience that you initially created in the first place. Like, the game developers made the game as random as it is, for better or for worse. So if most people's experience is that it's too grindy or the loot drops are too random, that's an example of a bad gameplay design. Whether that's intentionally put in there to sell microtransactions or whether it's just in there because the developers didn't put enough effort into their development, or maybe they put a lot of effort and they just didn't have enough skill. So this area is quiet, so I suspect this might be a shortcut path around. We've definitely seen these patterns though. And you know what they really don't run into here, it really wouldn't work, is there's no way to integrate the mines that we've seen. So that was a quest for glory. We just got that quest for glory. So pretty quickly we need to go back and get another quest for glory.
My pack is full.
Because obviously, I mean, even now I suspect I might have missed some things. Let's see. Let's reveal all these items first, and then I'll look at them. Some of them look like they might actually be really good. Right. We have a shield, which we wouldn't use that. We need to use this mysterious map scroll. We have plus 10 defense versus increased magic find. Nope, don't want that. We have Gorgon gloves. Gorgon boots versus Gorgon gloves. Yeah, Gorgon gloves are better than what we have. And we'll get 4% faster attack. So there goes our clever remembrance gloves. And we're not selling this potions anymore, although that would make it more efficient if we were. Don't want that, don't want that, that. We also have a spell here for Elemental Protect, a spell for Web 1 that we can send back. By the way, we needed to change that out. Did he pick up all the items? They were over here, or did I miss something? Oh well, I guess if I missed something, I missed something. Frankly, I kinda should put heal all here. Anyways. Heal all there. And this here, I guess. Or cast a spell. I do want an offensive spell, but I'm not really using it. You don't even need an offensive magic spell when you've got a shotgun that's doing such an incredible amount of damage. Seriously, where is this layout going. This just keeps going on and on and on. Why not just an arrow? Just a simplistic arrow on the edge of the minimap that showed me that this was the general direction in which you're supposed to go. I'm killing so many minions that the bodies are despawning, leaving only the treasure. Although some of these big minions seem like they're on a different timer as far as their bodies despawning, which would make a little bit of sense. I think it would be much more recognizable that a large minion.
You have triggered a trap.
Right. Triggered a trap and it hurt me a little bit. I think very quickly we will get down to a point where even if I hurt myself, it's going to be so insignificantly small that it won't even move the health bar. I feel like, and this is in part because we're running at 1080p, and clearly when the game was originally designed, it was designed so it was at a much lower resolution, to the point where this edge would have been at the edge of the screen and this edge would have been at the edge of the screen, which also means this would have taken up more screen and this would have taken up more screen space. But I feel like even in this case, Diablo's layout of their health and mana orbs, I believe they're separated out. The merger here is actually a pretty decent artistic design, because you don't really need a full circle of blue to show you how much mana you have. But I feel like it was probably a lot bigger in Diablo 1. And I think we are fair in comparing Torchlight to Diablo 1. Yeah, Torchlight 1 to Diablo 1 seems kind of fair, and then we'll compare Torchlight 2 to Diablo 2 as much as I recall of Diablo 2. I'm not sure I ever actually even played all the DLC for Diablo 2, but I'm fairly certain I beat the entirety of the main story. I think I stopped somewhere in the snow expansion, if that makes any sense to anybody, as far as Diablo 2 went. And frankly,
I can't carry
at
anymore.
that point, I'd been Diablo'd out just by the vast amount of gameplay they offered. It is kind of a funny swing, because they went from under satisfying people who had played Diablo 1 and Diablo 2 to letting people just live with Diablo 2, which went on, which people played for a very long time until they finally came out with Diablo 3, which honestly, who's to say that that was in any way the same
Your
team
pet has departed.
that worked on Diablo 3, that worked on Diablo 2. It almost certainly wasn't, and that would explain things. So we have some unique gloves here, the Valcone's nose wipers. So we have to kind of hold on to this, and we can't really put them on though. Whereas I have a bunch of stuff here to sell already. So while we wait for the pets to come back, we'll continue to make progress here and hope that we can finish this quest section and move on to the next floor, or at least get rid of those 3 glyphs that are taking up our space. Our next mission would be to use the portal map and go into the Lost Dungeon, which last time we went into a Lost Dungeon was rough, to say the least. And it seems like, actually,
Your pet has returned.
if we look at this, this mysterious map opens a portal to a Lost Dungeon at any level. So it probably wouldn't be a terrible idea just to hold on to this until we are at the lowest of the lowest floors, right before the end of the boss, and then we could sell it at that point, or not sell it, but use it. Yeah, that seems more logical. Yeah, we're dangerously getting close to just sending the dog right out again. And is that... There's a deceased adventurer. Like, is that really all the dog is going to boil down to? Is our convey vessel, who we send on little shopping trips for us? Feels like they probably should penalize you for sending the pet anyways, and make it obvious. Like, you should have gotten a pop-up that said every time that you got 10% of what you would have sold if you were there to barter. And almost certainly once I do have the barter function, you kind of assume that that will happen. But I'm not 100% certain that that's true either. Here we found a secret area. Some gold. Gold in this area would always be here, so it really is just a matter of, am I picking up 4 gold instead of normally picking up 1? That's not a major improvement. So it's very minor. It's like the smallest increment possible. So here. This feels more designed, the section we're in right now, so I wouldn't be surprised if we're about to run into a boss. Of course, this also is a lot of narrow hallways, and I can't really like those, because that's a pain in the butt to navigate through. And easy to miss things. Yeah, as such.
My inventory is full.
Yep. Right back to inventory management. We're just doing this non-stop. And this really is the only way you can play. You could start to drop unimportant things, I guess, and try and save yourself some time, but then you're not playing the game right. You can't really call it anything other than that. You're not playing the game right at that point. The whole point is for this to be a loot game. Spells. Summon zombie 2. Well, I suppose I could get rid of Summon Zombie 1 and hold on to Summon Zombie 2. I don't even know if I want that, though. It's like I have Frost 1, I have Dervish 2. I think I'm probably better off just selling spells. Yeah, we'll hold on to Summon Zombie too, just in case. But we're definitely not ranking up on any of this stuff. So either you have to use your heal all spell way more to rank it up. Like I could do it right now, certainly. But yeah, unless I was just going to annoyingly press the heal all button every few seconds as an experiment, which I guess we could do that. And see how many times I have to use the heal all button until it ranks up. I don't think it's ever going to rank up. This seems like it's just going to take me down another floor. Portal to the glyph room. And we have about 3 minutes, so I think we can maybe go a little long and finish this main story quest. It's interesting that you have to do this part because doing the glyphs when it's the second or third time you played the game, I imagine you would have a somewhat negative reaction to that. I immediately forgot that I was going to cast heal all every opportunity I got. Yeah, I would have thought that the side quests, the portal quests in the town would have been better suited around the concept of finding 3 keys. But then a side quest really wouldn't work for as long as this is. And in a weird way, if there are 3 or 4 more levels of seeing these kind of enemies, it's gonna feel rather long. I also suspect that even if you don't take the quest, the fame quests, if you don't pick them up, I suspect you get the same amount of fame regardless. But I'm not 100% certain on that. Where are we on this, by the way? Do I want more dexterity or do I want more defense? I think I'm gonna play it safe and put some more into defense. Let's get this shrine of mana and then cast that spell. There's a glyph. Find all the enemies to kill. Shoot all the pots. Shooting the pots is slow. And it's not like the pots are so frequent that you're going to accidentally click on them in the middle of a fight or anything like that. So they really do feel like they're just these extra targets for no reason.
My pack is full.
Really just need to get rid of a couple of things. And we should be alright. Right. So we go here. We talk to
You
her.
recovered the glyphs so quickly. Your power is growing, my friend. I will open the last rune gate, but please be cautious. The blighted Ember creates abominations. There's no telling what monstrosities lay on the other side. I can't bear to stay in these corrupted tunnels much longer. Find me in Torchlight when you've finished.
So she gives me fame. She gives me all that. Might as well go into this area and then town portal back to the town. And so this is the Esterharian ruins, which is probably a boss fight, if I was to guess. Return to town. We lost those 3 items, which is what we were trying to do. And let's see, let's identify this item, which is just a shield, and then come over here. We can quickly sell everything here. And if we have enough money, we'll try and buy anything that says Gorgon or Midas or now even Velcones. Okay. So, I don't think that any of the items are weapons. I think it's all armor. So it really will just come down to a purple item, I think. I suspect it will always be a rare item. But who knows, we might actually run into a different kind of item. Let's see. Bouncing Warrior Visage. Actually, I just need to hover over it and see if it has any attributes that says it works with something else. Yeah, I don't think there's anything here that matches that.
Hi there.
And this guy's just selling that stuff.
Bye-bye.
Meanwhile, we have a dull core ember, which we can merge together, so I'll take this cracked core ember just to see what that is. Meanwhile, this piece of armor is going into storage, and so is this mysterious map scroll, because I don't believe that's based on a quest at all, so I think we're fine. Turn this in. Not even read it all the way, sorry. Let's see. Accept this new quest.
Hiya.
Go ahead and just sell that. Does she have any armor? No, she just sells weapons. So, nothing. I really did just luck out on a really, really powerful weapon. Summon skeletons. If I made the dogs summon skeletons that fought for you and archer skeletons that stood in one place, that would be interesting. But it would be probably too many people on the field. Meanwhile, yeah, let's look at our dog. What does he have here? Summon archers 3 and draining touch 2. This guy would enchant things if I wanted to mess with that. I don't think these transmutations ever fail, by the way. So you're seemingly in a safe position. Although there's just a lot of work you're doing here for something that won't really reward you until much later in the game. I don't think it will be until several hours from now that people start to realize, oh yeah, you needed to transmute all of these magic potions because they're going to become so few and far between. It'd be nice if there was just a transmute all button. Shift doesn't do anything to help it too much. Right. So put that there. Take that one out.
Bye bye.
I don't think that there's any other quests to deal with. Cracked core ember, discolored core ember. I suspect discolored is better than cracked. Yeah. If we were to put these all in the same level, dull airball, I think it probably goes something like this, where each of these items would really be down to this point. Swift Chaos Gem, Adept Chaos Gem. Both of these would just be something we could put into something else, I guess, but I don't know if I really would want to. Meanwhile, stack all of those, and stack that, and stack all of those. Alright. So that's all of our inventory issues cleared out, which is good because we really need to do this side portal quest before we do the main story anymore. Yeah, we're still making good progress, but also the game in general is just a little grindy. Level 17 for this quest, or floor 17 for this quest, where this is find a piece of primal ember filled with elemental energy, which is probably just going to be somewhere in the next few levels. This is the portal quest that we need to get done, and then this is the main story quest too. So it's weird that the main story quest doesn't really stay at the top. It feels like it should. Well, that's going to be it for this recording. As always, I ask you to like, share, subscribe, comment, and watch every second of my videos. If you want to friend or follow me on any social media sites, there's a whole bunch of links down below in the description box. And if you want to support me even further, there's a link to Patreon, or you can friend me on Steam and gift me a game off my wishlist. Thank you for watching. Have a good evening.